What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Coexisting with Rob and Maggie. It is Friday, January 10th. We are happy you are here, and we are happy to talk some wrestling. It's been a big week for the wrestling world with lots and lots of stuff going down. But as I start every show, Maggie, how you doing?
Uh, a weird day off. Your ear like your
Earphones? Okay,
earphones are still not plugged in.
I will fix that again.
Yes. And I will not talk until you resolve the problem or you mute yourself because you yeah because
Let's try it
I
now.
can
Good?
can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So they're working now. Thank you, Rob, so much. Yeah. So as I was saying, a weird day off. It almost never happens. I usually work the day shift on Friday and then I go home and do the show with Rob. But because we're a person short when it comes to my bartending job, and we're filling in, the gaps. Hopefully, we're back to normal soon. And I realized this today, and it's kind of sad. So if you know me, you would be absolutely aware that if I'm not working, I do not go out because, like, my job, like as a bartender, is to socialize with people. And in my days off, I just want to, chill on my couch, not deal with, not socialize whatsoever. Um, that's that's probably it. And I got up today, I did some stuff around, the apartment. And then I went to the supermarket to buy some stuff. And then a thought occurred to me because, like, this may sound really weird to people, but I'm a huge romantic when it comes to love and relationships. The world sometimes crushes this feeling in me a lot, but I will not give up on love whatsoever. And so, probably the only way I can meet someone is while going to the supermarket. And today I went to the supermarket and there's a mirror alongside one of the walls in supermarkets, and saw myself in the reflection. I was like, I look like a homeless person. Like, why? I'm just, with my winter coat and my winter's hat and everything. I'm not even kidding. I look like a homeless person. And I'm like, how am I supposed to find love when I look like that? This is not usually how I look like. And because it's winter, can it already please be April so I can look like a normal person when I go out? Please. I do not think that I'm at that stage of my life where I get a bunch of cats. I'm not at that stage of my life anymore. So let's not do that. And because um I usually share these thoughts with my friends, so I share this on Facebook because Bulgarians still use Facebook. And then all of my friends, quotation marks, go like, vodka can resolve all these issues, and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, just go screw yourselves. I quit drinking like almost 3 years ago, so let's not do that anymore. But yeah, that
Maggie,
is yeah.
Maggie,
What happened?
true love is hard to find. Sometimes you think you have true love, and then you catch the early flight from San Diego, and a couple of nude people jump out in front of you, blindfolded, like a goddamn magic show, ready to double team your girlfriend. That's love. That's what you think you have.
Yeah,
Like from
where
old
did you
school.
read that
Like
from?
old school. Like that's that's kind of what it's from. I
Okay.
it like I didn't get the exact quote right, but it's pretty close. I mean, there you go. Blue, you're my boy. I got that part right. I know. Yeah.
Okay, I have no idea what that is.
Oh, you need to watch it. It's That's a good romantic film if you like.
I'm sure all of your romantic movie, ideas are always
Yeah, in with
on
hub.com,
point.
but yeah.
Yeah, just always on point. Guys, thank you for for joining us. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here. Please leave a like on the video. This is the most direct way in which you can support us. Rob and I have, some exciting news about, your super chat and your humper chat donations for this week's show. All of the proceeds will be donated to um, LA Animal Care and Care Control Centers in LA. So this is a bit horrifying, everything that's happening in California. I It's like out of an apocalypse movie, man. Like it's just not I'm not used to seeing that. And hopefully, please everyone stay safe, evacuate. I'm so sorry to all the people who lost their homes, who lost, their a couple of people died, right?
Oh yeah. Yep, there's been a
Yeah.
few.
Yeah, a few.
I mean,
Thoughts
I
go
I
out
don't know.
to all of our, all of the victims, all the families, again, all of the super chat and humper chat donations will be going to animal care centers in LA. So please send us a super chat. It's the bottom of the YouTube live chat, the little dollar sign. You can also send a humper chat at humperchats.com. This we do push more because we get to keep a little bit more of the proceeds. So this means that we will be able to donate more of a bigger percent of the money. uh, of course YouTube gets cuts a little bit more of your donations, so humper chats are always greatly more appreciated. And in this instant, please also subscribe to Fightful Select, please. Soon to be the best $6 in the business. It's still five. You can still lock in $54 for the entire year while it's $5. You get a lot of wrestling news. You get to vote on the Fightful awards that are already done, I think. Yeah, a bunch of acceptance speeches planned out. But you can definitely vote for next year's Fightful Awards. Again, one of my favorite times of the year. Royal Rumble is coming. There will be a lot of scoops there, a lot of news about contracts, a lot of news about Malachi Black, of course. Uh, and that's about it. Help
Yeah.
us, donate a bunch of money to
And
animal care centers.
today's uh Cooper effects came from Ophelia Payne. She's the one that sent it to me, and
Oh,
uh,
yes, sweetie. Thank you.
yeah, so just wanted to get that out there. So we have a super chat. Thank you, Mr. Ryan Sullivan. He says, I almost
Thank you,
quoted the
Ryan, for
song
the generous super chat.
Love is Blind by Eve, but pretty sure only I remember that song. Anyway, here's Animal Money. Thank you very much. We appreciate that more than you know, buddy. But you know that.
Eve, like the pink-haired Eve, right? Like the red, this
I heard
Eve,
of.
right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
I've never heard that song.
Anyways, Maggie, this past Monday was a big. Well, you know what? Let's start from last Friday. We had a big SmackDown.
Yes.
We have a new women's champion in Tiffany Stratton. There's certain times, Maggie, where this is gonna sound weird. Okay, there's certain times where I just wish we had like your reactions, like like for matches, without.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that
old times.
this would have been one of those times where I wish we would have had the reaction from you, because I know you would have been excited for this. Um,
I
I
was.
know you had to be. So you had
I
that, and
was.
then just a mere few hours later, a guy by the name of Kenneth Omega returned in Tokyo, Japan at the Tokyo Dome and defeated Gabriel Kidd. Now, it was a hell of a match, but what he also did is he helped make a star
He
that
did.
night. We already knew Gabe Kidd was going to be a star, but like he put him up there, you know. So
Yes.
like he made a big star, and it was so Kenny Omega is one of those guys where you after you watch him, you're kind of like thinking to yourself, man, I forgot how good we had it. You know, like that's how I felt. Like I forgot how good we had it, and now that
Yes.
he's back, it's it's good. It's really good to have the man back, and damn, I missed him. So, what was your reaction, and when did you finally get to watch that match? I know you didn't get to watch it live. So, when did
I
you
didn't. I
get
didn't.
to? So, my first question is, what was your reaction with Stratton, and then second, what was your reaction to Mister Omega?
Yes, this is. I was going to start with Tiffy time. Well, I don't know. I initially, because Tiffany has been doing this back and forth with the briefcase and Nia Jackson, Candace. Um, don't get me wrong. I'm so hyped that Candice LeRae is finally getting the spotlight, at least getting pushes in some sort of storyline after them randomly dismissing Indy Hartwell and letting her go and everything. This was the weirdest thing to me because they were. I thought that they could have helped the women's tag division immensely. Um, I mean, one of the greatest pops of NXT, the middle era of NXT was when Indy became champion, and like that was so heartwarming. And so she's been doing this back and forth with the briefcase, and Candice LeRae is preventing her from cashing in all the time. And Tiffany was like, "I just want to be a champion," and I'm like, "You go, girl." And so it finally happened. So Naomi was facing Nia for the women's title on this last week's SmackDown. Candice distracts Naomi. Bianca took care of her, around the ring. Tiffany came out. She taunted to cash in, um, but Nia pinned Naomi. She won the match, and then Bianca delivered the KOD to Nia Jax, right? It was to Nia.
Yeah,
Yeah. So she delivered to KOD to Nia. So Tiffany got into the ring, shoved Bianca out of it, and then just did her prettiest moonsault. And she cashed in and she beat Nia. And like the most important thing is here that so I'm sorry, I cannot give credit to the person who thought of the meme, but because, going a bit ahead, Rhea Ripley won, you know, the, the the women's championship on Raw. So you have Rhea Ripley on one side and Tiffany Stratton on the other. So she was a punk. She did ballet. What working? That was so great to all the Avril Lavigne fans out there. It was incredibly great. I've been so in love with Tiffany Stratton so much. Um, I enjoyed her time with Becky Lynch immensely because I will never forget the moment Becky Lynch pinned her and Tiffany whispered in her ear, "I love you so much," and like, uh, it's it's really a goosebumps moment for me when someone from NXT gets such a good push and gets a storyline that catches your attention and you get to be invested in it. And
yeah,
that's why I was so incredibly hyped for Tiffany Stratton. So time will tell whatever title reign that she gets to have. And from now on, we get to focus on whoever attacked Jade. And I still kind of hope that it's Naomi, because for me this is the only way. That's so good.
Barbenheimer. Barbenheimer. That's what I saw some people say. So
Oh yeah, that's that exactly,
yeah,
exactly. This should have happened last year. Yeah. So oh no, 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. So as I was saying, what was I saying? Oh well, let's read, the super chats before we move
yeah.
over to Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle
Oh,
Dynasty.
we have a very generous monster super chat. Thank you, Ken. He says,
Thank you, Ken, sweetie. We appreciate you.
"Classy gesture, gang, sending positive vibes and thoughts to those impacted by these fires." Absolutely. Thank you so much for that.
We
Um,
greatly appreciate your super chat. Thank you, sweetie. Um, yeah, so we get moving with Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty, both shows for which you did a post show on Fightful. Um, I First of all, you did great.
Thank you.
Because yes, I'm not that familiar with New Japan stuff. I mean, I know the basics. Like I'm an extremely casual viewer for New Japan. It's not something new to me, but I could never speak about the storylines because I'm not there for the storylines. I'm there for the wrestlers and everything, and for the wrestling matches. But like, I have no idea what.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I usually enjoy watching Wrestle Kingdom a lot because it's on at a normal time for me. It's on at 10 a.m. But weirdly enough, it was Saturday and Sunday this year, and I was working the day shift. So I got home and I got to watch both shows. Sadly, Wrestle Kingdom wasn't, the pay per view that I thought it was going to be, mainly because. So the match that I was mostly looking forward to was Zack Sabre Jr. versus Shota Umino.
The-
And then the match wasn't as great as I thought it was going to be. Yeah.
yeah.
And Rob and I discussed this in DMs. Like, we never want to blame anything on wrestlers and everything, but like, um, I guess that Shota Umino is still not that guy yet, because I understand what they're trying to do. I understand that um every time, and I know that this is kind of sad for New Japan, but like, all their stars are gone, and like AEW took a bunch of them, and I can understand their frustration, but they have to build their new stars. So what happened at Wrestle Dynasty is that an AEW wrestler built their future star in the eyes of Gabe Kidd. What an amazing match that was. So this was a power cleanser because of, Wrestle Kingdom's main event. Um, Zack Sabre Jr. rocks, by the way. I love you, sweetie. I'm just, it was, how long of a match was it? Was it 42 minutes?
Yeah, it went about
Y-
42. It went about 20 minutes longer than it needed to.
yes. The fact of the matter is, I understand why the style of wrestling that Zack Sabre Jr. has, I don't know if it fits that match length that they're aiming for. I understand that.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm incredibly biased, and I will never say no to 42 minutes with Zack Sabre Jr. So, um, yeah, again, biased. So I'm not the one to talk about that. What pissed me off on Wrestle Dynasty is that Claudio
Mm,
got pinned by Shota Umino. So that's not how you do. No, and I'm like, whose decision was that? Um, 43 minutes. Thank you, Jade Sweetie, again correcting, our sleepless minds, because it's not just me. My sleep schedule apparently is contagious, because now Rob can't sleep. So
mm,
it's, yes. Um, a bunch of great stuff. Young Bucks are now your IWGP Tag Team Champion. I squeaked. Okay. The moment, so guys, they came out to their old school New Japan theme, and I started crying. Like, this is base level BTE right there. I I had that song, that melody in my head for like the first couple of months after I started watching BTE. And at first I didn't know what that was, and I'm like, what is this? What is in my head? And then I realized that it was their New Japan theme. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that's fine. So they walked out on that with that theme, and I was preparing dinner at that moment, and I didn't use salt for my eggs. My tears were salt enough. So yeah, Young Bucks, and then they won the championships, and I was like, and then Kenny Omega. So one con here. One.
Tony.
No.
Oh.
So I
Chad. Nick. Sorry. I'm done.
stop it.
James. Sorry, I'm not.
So I stop.
I am. I'm done now.
Okay. Wrath of.
No, I said I was done.
Okay.
Let's be.
I
Let's
just
be
wanted to
appropriate
fill
here.
in the blanks. Just yeah. So because I'm so incredibly in love with Battle Cry, the theme, I'm now sad because it's gone. And I think everyone should be, because it's such a wonderful thing. Um, yes, Jade, you're absolutely right. Dynasty was way better than Wrestle Kingdom, and um, well, I don't want I didn't want to say that because again, I'm not a regular viewer of New Japan, and I have no idea if what I was watching was,
Well, what
you
you like
know.
is what you like. So I mean, if you think a show's better. It doesn't matter if you.
Yeah, but like for me, it was better because there were
Yeah.
stars from all Elite Wrestling there, and those are wrestlers that I watch
Yeah.
every week, like 2 or 3 times a week, and this is where the bias is. I'm emotionally invested in those wrestlers. The other wrestlers I know and I respect, but like I'm not emotionally invested there. This is why I couldn't speak about if Wrestle Kingdom was better or not than Dynasty. That's all I was gonna say. Um, yeah. So Kenny was back. Okay. So boo the theme. The theme is really good, but it's not Battle Cry. So again, so he comes out with the huge Omega thing in the middle with his vest and the gear, and I already love the guy. Like he looks like, I'm sorry. Is this God? Is this is what? Like what? How can you come back from diverticulitis and look this good? But like, this is a life-threatening illness, okay? Like, you could have died, and
Yeah.
now you come back and look like that. So, how is this not godly like? Like, that's my question. So they start the match, and Gabe Kidd is heavily cheered, heavily cheered. And he got out with the big New Japan logo on his trunks, and everyone started chanting for him. um so I didn't know if they were absolutely aware that Kenny Omega was going to get booed, but he got heavily booed, and I was like, this is interesting. This is good because Kenny can work good as a heel or a face.
Correct.
And if you don't know what that terminology is, you now know because of the Netflix Raw beginning, but we're going to talk about it later. Uh, so
If you don't know now, you know.
now you know, yes. Uh, so Kenny did his Wrestle Kingdom thing, like when he dove, springboarded off the top rope into a table right after the barricade. This is his Kingdom spot. Like he does that
Mhm.
every show that he's there. And then he started grabbing his stomach, and I'm like, oh no, please don't, just stop. And then I remember Brian Danielson doing, the thing with his arm, and I'm like, you just fucking stop that. Just you're an asshole for that. And so he started using. Do you know that Kenny has this weird squeaky voice when he's a heel?
No, I haven't really noticed.
Yeah, because like, oh, like he does that. Like that's what his voice sounds like. And like he started shouting at the boys around the ring that bring you ice and everything. So he started yelling at them to get him ice. So and then he kicked one of the boys for taking too long with the ice, and I was like, he did take too long. It was like solid 2 minutes before you gave him ice, having in mind that Gabe Kid already got ice. So that's biased. Okay. So he got 100%, I'm behind Kenny there. Like he wasn't the heel. He was taking too long for that ice. So in the end, Kenny won the match. I don't know. Do you remember the year when Kenny Omega faced Will Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom?
Yeah, it was a year ago.
Yeah,
It
2 years
seems
ago.
for. Oh, was it?
2 years ago, yeah.
Jesus. Is that 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years. So, oh no, maybe it wasn't 2 years.
I think it was last year.
I don't remember anymore. Yeah, so again, Kenny Omega doing match of the year at the beginning of the year. So
I don't know.
probably dial
Now.
it down,
Oh
okay?
yeah. Well, no. Let's see.
2 years ago, right?
I don't know. Now I got to go look at Cage Match.
Yeah,
Now it's
please.
driving me nuts.
Or Jade, with the chat. No, yeah, because
Oh,
Will
you mean the
Ospreay was
first one?
at Wrestle Kingdom
Yeah, that was okay. So yeah, they because didn't they
2
wrestle
years
two in a
ago.
row?
Yeah, but like the second one was
Yeah, the
over
second
at
one was
Canada.
last. Oh, that was Forbidden Door, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. Hmm.
Hmm.
Osprey.
I think it was 2 years ago.
Let's see here. Wrestle Kingdom 17.
Yeah, it was the
No,
same Wrestle Kingdom where Mercedes
Jesus, it felt
Monet
like last
debuted.
year for F6.
No, no, no. The
I mean,
same
I'm
year
just saying
when
it felt like last year.
oh, it felt like a month ago. Yeah, the same Wrestle Kingdom when Mercedes Monet debuted and gave the money clip to Kairi Sane, who's now in WWE. Yeah, so it was 2 years ago.
My God.
Yes, yes. The odd things I can remember. That's the weirdest thing. Um. So yes, a huge thank you to Kenny Omega for spoiling match of the year from the beginning of the year. But now all the wrestlers have something to look forward to doing. Um, and then a bunch of things happened on Dynamite. Before we get started with Dynamite, tell me what you thought about Wrestle Kingdom and Dynasty. I know that you did the post shows, but just share your quick thoughts.
Oh, that's right.
And
Sorry. Yeah, I last year was the triple threat match with Moxley, Osprey, and David
yeah,
Finlay. Damn,
mhm.
that does not feel like it was that long ago.
I don't even remember that match occurred.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed it. Like I said earlier, the Umino match went 20 minutes longer than it needed to. Otherwise,
Absolutely.
I enjoyed with Zach like I said, went 20 minutes longer than it needed to probably. Otherwise, I enjoyed both shows. I thought they were fun. I thought they were fine, and doing the post shows were great. Doing it first time I've ever done a show with Lyric from Maps and Graps and wrestling. I think it's one. I can't remember the. Just like Lyric Wrestling, I think's her Twitter handle, but um,
Okay.
Wrestling Wind Down, I think, is
Hmm.
what her show is called, maybe, or I don't know. But it was fun doing a show with her, and obviously doing a show with SP3 is always fun. And I actually did his review show or his preview show for um, this week's New Japan show taking place in San Jose. So, and yeah, it was just a good time. Battle in the Valley, that is. But
Yes.
yeah, it was good. Both shows were good.
Exactly like you said, Gabe Kidd is a made New Japan star right now. Um, I understand that a lot of people had their eyes on Gabe Kidd previously. I
Mhm.
understand that, but like Rob said, like when we were talking in our chat, now the world is locked their eyes on Gabe Kidd, and that's a wonderful thing because I will never stop saying this. Gabe Kidd wrestles exactly like he talks, and just look at the guy, and you'll understand what I'm saying. Such great intensity in his eyes, and incredible storytelling in the ring. Incredible. Thank you, Eric, for the super chat.
Yeah, he says, Rob, Maggie, chat, hello. Ken and Ryan, great donation. Here's my donation to the puppies, but not for the one Rob spoke about at the beginning of the podcast. Can
Thank you.
Harley Cameron beat Mariah May? Harley Cameron can do whatever
She
she
can.
wants to.
She can.
Um,
She's our best friend. So she
she
can.
is our best friend. She's our good friend. Um, can she? Yes. Will she?
No.
Unfortunately, they won't let her because they know how good she is. So there. But yeah,
Yeah, they're
Harley.
not ready for that star power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so Mariah May will win, which
Yes.
is,
Yes.
I guess, in the terms, it's what's best for business. Whatever.
Yes.
But
Boo.
no, Harley Cameron's great. I would love for her to
Absolutely
win, but
adore that woman. Adore that woman.
did you see her? I love that song. She was singing with Mariah May. Just good stuff. She's been fantastic.
Absolutely great. She's been killing it. I mean, like she's most improved. I feel like she's the most improved wrestler of 2024. Um, yeah, so moving forward with Dynamite, just so we can start chatting about Raw on Netflix. So Dynamite opened up with Will Ospreay and Buddy Murphy, which I had no idea was happening.
So
Because like I know you guys see the graphics and the stuff, and like I understand, but like I'm either working or just not on my phone like whatsoever because I'm going through a phase where I do not touch my phone whatsoever. And then I wake up, make coffee, and then sit down to watch Dynamite, and then Will Ospreay music hits, and I'm like, oh, good, we're starting off with a Will Ospreay match again. Like that's a great way to power up a Dynamite. Let's see who's facing it. And it's Buddy Matthews, and I'm like, absolutely unexpected, great surprise, by the way, phenomenal match, like you would expect. But the interesting part that happened after the match was, first of all, he called him Buddy Murphy. Second of all, he was like, you should get out of,
he did. I did not even catch that.
yeah, he was like, Buddy Murphy. Oh, I'm sorry, Matthews. And I'm
Oh,
like,
okay. Jesus, I missed it.
yeah. Uh, so he was like, you need to get out of those people's shadows, and you should be your own man. If you want, you can get tag gold with Brody King, but you should get out of the Malachi Black's shadow. And I was like, okay, what? And then I got the news from the post show on Fightful with Sean and Alex. About the contract situation with Malachi Black, and it's it's disappointing, man. I I don't know because we're not backstage. We have no idea what's going on. And if it's not reported and if it's not something that someone says directly in an interview, we see that even that isn't, a credible source of information. Because apparently there are a lot of sides to a story. I adore Aleister Black, Malachi Black, whatever you want to call him. I adore the guy. I love the way he wrestles. I love his storytelling. I love the metal music because I'm a fan. Um, I I just don't know what the problem is. I mean, if it's backstage politics, I can understand because I will never say anything bad about a person that wants to be booked in a certain way, but then he doesn't get to. Um, I'm not in the business. I don't know what it's like. Um, I can only assume that someone thinks that they're treated unfairly. I don't know if it's Tony Khan. I don't know if it's Malachi Black. I just wanted this to work. This is all I'm saying. I wanted it to work because I love the guy.
Yeah.
And so apparently he's on his way out.
Yeah,
Um,
Fightful Select reported yesterday yesterday, that he may very well be finishing up with AEW again on this week's episode of Dynamite, like you were just talking about. Osprey defeated Buddy Matthews and encouraged him to step outside of the shadow of Malachi Black. This led to Sean, or Fightful Select, regarding inquiring about Malachi's contract, and he said those that they spoke to were of the belief that he was finishing up with AEW if he hadn't already, but they did not clarify if he'd be appearing on TV again. Fightful previously reported that there were option years after 2024. Tony Khan had previously noted that he had Malachi Black under contract until 2027, but as Sean put in the report on Fightful Select, to be clear, he can't say this is a definite that Black's contract is up or that the option had been declined, picked up, or any other transactions have happened. So um, there you go. He does know that Malachi Black is still on AEW's roster page on their official website, and that Malachi Black is scheduled for a CCW show on January 11th, which is tomorrow. So
yes. Supi did mention something in the chat. The best way that they can deal with this is do Buddy Matthews. I'm sorry, I said Murphy. It's Will Ospreay's fault. Buddy Matthews versus Malachi Black at Grand Slam in Australia. This is the right way to do that, in my eyes. In Australia, just give Buddy another Australian win because he won the 205 title in Australia. One of their few shows in Australia that they did. This was my favorite match on the card, by the way, and the biggest pop of the night,
yeah.
clearly. And it was for a 205 guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I, again, I loved House of Black. I'm in the incredible minority here because people did not like House of Black. Um, and I kind of see why, like, they were some sort of weird booking. But, like, the thing is that the last time we saw House of Black as a whole without Julia Hart, the three of them, they beat FTR. Like, I
Yeah.
thought that there was a push coming. And I love the things that they did with the trios championships and everything. That they just might as well not exist at this moment. Because everything with the Death Riders is the weirdest thing. I thought that they were going to be the Death Riders. Well, I should say I had a dream that they were going to be the Death Riders, but like I don't know anymore. And like I said, it's like this thing when my favorites don't get treated the way I think feel like they should be treated. But again, I don't make the decisions. I do not understand what's happening backstage, and I'm not meant to because I'm just a viewer. I'm a fan. Um, so we shall see. Only time will tell what is in the future for Malachi Black. I just really want to see him back. I want to see him wrestle. I adore the guy. And do you remember his WWE theme? Because it was one of my favorites. So
Yeah, I do.
yeah, so imagine three, two, one. Ah, no man is ever truly good. No man is ever truly evil. I really like that theme. Um, he's probably not gonna use that theme. Like it's a no school NXT theme, so probably not. Um, I just hope that whatever he lands, he gets the opportunity to do the things that he loves, because I kind of thought that he was gonna do that in AEW, but clearly that didn't work. I don't know. Again, I'm not there. I wish I was a fly on the wall, because I sometimes you want to know why your favorites aren't doing the things that they want and you also want. But that's a story for a different day. Um, so you want to talk about the Jeff Jarrett stuff?
Do you?
Well, the only thing I can say is I rarely say to myself that I couldn't possibly love MJF more, and then I do.
Yeah.
Because what I hope that is going to happen now is MJF beats the ever living shit out of Double J. I will love forever MJF for this. Please, please, I will make another drink video for you, sir. I will not. That was it. Wow. I can't wait, man. Salt of the earth? Yes, please. All over him while you cook. Just
We got a super chat from Tyler. Thank you. Says Rob and Maggie, greater than Hogan and Blanchard. Well,
that
that's
is the low
I.
bar.
Yeah, wait, I'll take it.
Yes,
After
thank
that,
you. Thank you, sweetie, for the super chat. Thank you for the awesome donations, guys. Thank you for showing
or
up.
if maybe he, I don't know if he's maybe asking what we thought about Hogan and Blanchard. Maybe that could be.
Oh,
Uh,
we
yeah,
will be talking
yeah.
about
Maybe that's.
Hogan,
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's what that meant. Um.
but we are greater than Hogan.
Well, yeah, we're definitely better than that. But
Um,
yeah, the Jeff Jarrett thing, it was kind of weird. But
Austin? No, it's not weird. It's
no,
awesome.
it I just thought it was like he's been getting like monster pops, and for him are monster pops. I mean, they're not really monster pops for anyone else. But it's just it's very like weird. It's like, what are they trying to do? Like, let's let's move. Let's get going with whatever you guys are trying to do with it. I thought
Retire
him
Double J. That's
the way they like did the battle royal thing. The I thought that was odd.
I
Like, just
love you, Yuta. I love you, man.
but I thought it was really weird how that all happened, and then I found that just odd.
It's not odd, it's just justice.
Yeah. Well, should we go ahead and just do Cooper effect before we move on to Raw?
We haven't spoken everything about Dynamite.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, like the end stuff, the most important things, the can you return to
Oh,
Dynamite?
true. Forgot about that.
Thank you, Robert.
You're welcome.
A shout
My
out
first
to
day.
yes, it is. Shout out to Tony Storm, Chris Statlander, and Willow, that amazing triple threat. Willow is the best. Also, shout out to our friend Doc Chris Mueller, who, by the way, interviewed Julia Hart today, and like he said, cannot wait what the future brings to Julia. I can't wait to hear that interview. By the way, yeah. So the show ended with Kenny Omega in the ring. He talked. He was really open about his entire situation. I've said this before, and I will never stop saying it. I'm amazed at how often I forget how well spoken Kenny Omega is, and I should stop forgetting that because he's incredibly professional when it comes to those sorts of speeches, because he had another speech after Dynamite was off the air, um which was a bit more comical. So he said that he returned because this is what he was meant to do, and he was no longer driven by money. He was no longer driven by revenge. And at that point, Don Callis came out, and then Kenny went for revenge. And I'm like, you just said that you weren't here for revenge anymore. What? Be consistent, sweetie. Like, that's not how we do it here. And so that was a total lady boner, by the way. He immediately right out of the gate. Uh, he almost didn't get to say anything on a mic. He was like, then he got beat up. So, of course, the Don Callis family came out and started attacking Kenny. Um, a little piece of me thought that the Young Bucks were going to come out, but they didn't. Who came out was Will Ospreay. And then I had a heart attack. So, like, so after I gathered myself, because I was all over the floor, the incredible I'm so sorry for using this, but this is exactly what it is. This is long-term storytelling here, because I hope you guys realize that Will Ospreay was the weapon that Don Callis used to stab Kenny Omega in the back. So Will Ospreay felt the need to repair that huge mistake that he did in his eyes and help out Kenny Omega here with Don Callis and everyone in that entire family. This came full circle here, all of it. And you could see in Osprey's eyes that he wasn't rescuing Kenny because he wants to be his friend. He looked him dead in the eyes and he said, "I just saved your ass, bitch." So, like, so I suppose that they're gonna have, tag team matches, because we're gonna see Kenny Omega back in the ring next week on Dynamite against Brian Cage. What I'm looking forward to in this match is seeing Kenny Omega lift up Brian Cage in the air and, like, delivering a one grinning angel. I don't know what that would look like, but I'm sure as hell hope that Kenny Omega stays safe in this match.
See, what you're saying is he's making the
sacrifice.
How long did you wait for that?
I waited till a good setup, and it took.
Okay. Yes, he is making the sacrifice with his body. Thank you, Rob. You're yes. What did you think about that? This entire full circle Osprey Kenny. Oh my god.
About time. Like, but I understand. Like, I understand. Obviously, I mean, it's one of those things where I'm glad there's two things about it. I'm glad they're finally they're finally getting on with it. Obviously, and there's a reason why it took so long. Obviously, I know that. I'm not dumb. The other thing too is I'm glad they just didn't have. I'm just glad they didn't just like let him go back to normal. Like, oh, everything's okay now, Don. Like Don, blah blah blah. Like, I'm glad they didn't go that route, especially with the Young Bucks too. That's the last thing I want, and we're gonna kind of get into that here when we talk about Raw. But
Yeah.
like just basically forget it is what I did not want them to do, and they didn't. I did kind of find it comical. Maybe comical is not the right word, but I did find it amusing that I'm forgetting the past, and then all of a sudden Don Callis goes out there and he's ready to just. But I can see that Don Callis has that effect on people, so
Yes. Yes.
I mean, that's the thing. Don Callis has that effect on people, so I get why he did that.
Yeah, I understand. Um, so Tyler sent us another super chat. Let's discuss this, and we hop into Cooper effect after that.
Oh, uh, sorry.
The next one.
Yeah, there it is.
Yes,
Great
thank you.
points, Maggie. Question for you both: which AEW team has had the best run as trios champs? Who would you like to see win next?
To the House
Hmm.
of Black were the best field
Yeah.
champions, in my eyes, at least, because like I know that there weren't that many trios champions, um, but I feel like the tag division just lost its edge at some point, and then they were like, well, let's make a trios division too. And I'm like, why? Your tag division is not that good. Why do you think a trios division will be better? And then just Jesus. um because of everything that happened with the whole Punk situation and stuff like that, I just the triple run for the Bucks and Kenny, the elite trios belts thing was put to an end, and then it got restarted. It was a whole mess of a situation, and that's why I actually think that House of Black were, you know, I'm gonna be biased here. I'm sorry. This is like House of Black for me was the odd group out of the rest of the trios division, and what I wanted House of Black to be in AEW was their own House of Blackie version of the Shield. This was what I wanted. Like for them to be those guys that people are terrified of. This is what I wanted. And we never reached that thing. And I'm just kind of sad about it. Thank you, Tyler, again for your super chat.
I don't know what this is in reference to, but I probably did something or said something.
Yes,
I mean,
who do you think it was the trios?
the well, I know who had the longest run. I think were the acclaimed with Billy Gunn. I think had the longest run. Oh, gotcha. It was the sacrifice clip. He said that's why. Cool. Um, but they had the longest run, but I wouldn't say it's the best run. I definitely wouldn't say it's the run with what they have now, because hell, I forgot who had them for the longest. I would have to say it's gonna sound weird, but Bullet Club Gold like actually entertained me when they had them.
Oh yeah, they were incredibly
That's probably
entertaining.
my favorite ones. I
Um,
mean,
but Clown is right in the chat. Death Triangle were also really good.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
they were good. I mean, they just seemed like they didn't. They had them for a little while too. I think a couple of months, but it just didn't. Maybe it's because my memory sucks. I don't really
Oh yeah,
recall
both
many of their
both our
matches with it.
memories suck, Rob. Like
But I remember being somewhat entertained with Bullet, easy for me to say, Bullet Club Gold holding them, but I think that was just they entertain me easily. But
the incredibly stupid thing is that both Rob and I have been on the show for like 3 years now, and we were bitching and moaning about Puck being a champion in AEW because like for the longest time he wasn't. Then he was a um, international champion, and then he wasn't, and we were bitching about that. And now he's trios champion again, and none of us like we have to keep reminding ourselves that he has a title in AEW because all of the championships that the Death Riders have are gone. The AEW championship is in a fucking briefcase, allegedly, because we haven't seen it in a while. And then all of the members of the trio champions just randomly go out without their championships. Why is this happening? You have 1,000 belts on your show and you're pushing the champions without them carrying the belts themselves. What the fuck is this? thank you for listening to my bitching. I wish I didn't have to, but if you're gonna make more belts, why? Let Rob do the Cooper effect because I'm pissed off for you here right now.
Okie dokie. Cooper effect
Thank
coming
you.
right up. All right, guys. So today's Cooper effect is has something to do with the unfortunate L.A. or Southern California fires that we all know about, and I'm gonna tell you about a lady that's been doing a lot for what's been going on out there. So Annie Harvelitz, she's 47. What happened is she's a Los Angeles veterinarian, and she has taken in dozens of animals as her owners have had to flee the raging Palisades fire, sacrificing like for their own health and safety. And what she did, she opened her own home and empty pet hospital to more than 40 dog and cats, along with a lone rabbit named Oreo, because their owners simply don't have the space or resources to bring the pets with them. Um, she told the New York Post that she had a family bring in 10 dogs and they had to leave behind their horses. She said, "To me, this is a no brainer. I looked around and said, I have a lot of space here. I can help." And that's exactly what she did. She took in these animals. Um, she runs two animal hospitals in the LA area. She began working or began welcoming the fire displaced pets into the Animal Wellness Center in Marina del Rey shortly after the blaze broke out this past Tuesday. She has also taken in four animals into her own home near the LA airport. The hospital is roughly 12 miles away from the rapidly growing wildfire, which has forced tens of thousands of people in Southern California to evacuate their homes because of the Santa Ana winds that have been fanning the flames. She's been coordinating pet rescues and care for animals as basically ash rains down from the let's be honest, the apocalyptic looking sky out there. Um, she's talked about that she hasn't been able to sleep and her eyes are hurting from all the smoke, but she's doing it because she loves these animals and wants to take care of them. So she is our Cooper effect of the week. She's doing so much for these amazing pets, and she's yeah, she's something else. So our kudos to her, and we need more people like her in our life, and yeah. So thank you, Annie, and yeah, that's our Cooper effect for this week because she deserves it.
Stories like this is what the Cooper effect is all about. Because like all of us know that we live in an incredibly hard world. A lot of things are happening really fast. Um, and you know how weird everything is because we get to learn about way more evil that is out there and none of the good. And of course, I'm going to quote David Lynch again. Balance is everything, and balance is the key to everything. And there are a lot of good things happening around the world, but you just don't hear about it because for some reason people react to the bad stuff way more. They interact with it more. It gets the clicks, and this is the sad thing about humans and about social media as well, of course. And this is why Rob and I decided to do the Cooper effect, is
Yeah.
to highlight the good so you can appreciate it more. Um, and just thank you, Rob, for because this is Rob's Cooper effect. And
Well, it's
you
yeah,
guys
and
know
it was
that every time Rob finds a Cooper effect,
well. This
it's a
one came
really
from
lovely
Ophelia,
one.
so she helped on this one. So thank you again
Yeah,
to
of
her.
course, of course.
Yeah. So, um, so we went from that, but I want to share like something. We went from something like sad but good. I want to send some show tell you a very quick humorous story. I have a
Sure.
buddy who does not watch wrestling much. Like he did watch Raw, like because everybody else and their mother did, and
Yeah.
he decided to he decided to get on the web the next day. He just wanted to see
The
what people were
web.
thinking. Yeah, that's what he said. He goes, I got on the web to check WWE.com to see what was going on, and he's never watched NXT, but this is what he sent me a text. He goes, if WWE has a guy that's pretending he is Gene Wilder, I'm
Oh
in.
my God.
And I died. So he because he had no idea. That's just what he assumed. So he said if WWE has a guy that's pretending he's Gene Wilder, I am in. And I didn't I'm like that is
I can't
first off
unsee it.
amazing. But I didn't tell him. I didn't say a word. I just said, haha, like
Yeah.
yeah, he's great. That's all I said. He's great. That's all I told him. So I'll let him find out on his own. But
Sure.
when he said that, I'm like, Jesus Christ, that would be fantastic if
Yes,
that was
please.
like his gimmick. Because my God,
Yes.
Charlie Dempsey. So anybody that's listening to this, they had no idea who I was talking about. But Charlie Dempsey,
Yeah, Charlie Dempsey.
if you look at his most recent NXT promo photo for his match against Alexis King,
Yeah,
you will
it's
see
really
it.
yeah, because like I don't think it's a photo that they'll be using in the future because that's just a New Year's Evil graphic for the match itself. I don't think that they're gonna,
Yeah,
you know,
no, I know, but
because yeah, because he's had that facial hair for like a month or so.
yeah,
Like I hope that he reconsiders and just takes it off. So uh, yeah, so
yeah.
we're already on the WWE topic. So Raw finally debuted on Netflix. Should we give our thanks to Netflix now or just randomly? Thank you, Netflix. I love you, Netflix. Hi.
It was a
Because
good
like
premiere.
uh okay, so it was a better premiere than last week's Dynamite was. Like that's
Okay.
it wasn't like for me. But and if you know people didn't catch up with our show last week, um it's my own fault that I didn't like last week's premiere of Dynamite on HBO because I hyped myself up for a lot of things that didn't end up happening, and the show was fine. I was just at fault because I thought, like, you know, a bunch of stuff was gonna happen, and they didn't. So that's on me. I liked Raw more, but the bar was low. So, like that's um, it opened up with an incredible video package that gave me a bit of goosebumps, and then all they started saying face and heel and stuff, and I'm like, what is happening? and our very own Jeremy Lambert, he said it perfectly. Welcome to Netflix. This is fake. This is exactly how it sounded. But listen, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I had a problem with this because I promise you I had no problem with this. I I understand why people are mad when these sorts of things start happening on their television, and then The Rock comes out and just with one sentence buries a year worth of storytelling with Cody Rhodes, and then he drinks vodka in front of the very bus that he almost killed him in front of. Like that is the weirdest shit. Um, I I understand why people are mad about this. Like the package thing. I'm absolutely okay with it, but I understand that people are saying, um, well, you don't see Daenerys Targaryen going to Jon Snow and saying, "Don't worry, those dragons are CGI," like because this practically means that they know that this is fake. Like this is them being incredibly self-aware in a show that they're not supposed to be self-aware of. I suppose that these are the same people that had a problem with the curtain call way back in the day. Um, but yes, those are the old school people that are incredibly invested in kayfabe and things. I had zero problem with this. What I did have a problem was the Rock thing. Um, so I'm always gonna be incredibly excited when The Rock comes on my television because, like I said before, The Rock was the one to get me into wrestling, and The Rock got me back to wrestling, and I will always be grateful for The Rock. But like that, like this, a certain thing happened. Then he then got out to NXT. He had clearly no clue what he was going to say, and he was incredibly truthful with his daughter. That they continue not acknowledging that they're father and daughter, none whatsoever. And
That's probably a good thing though.
sure, sure, okay, I'm fine with that. But like out of all of the things, the the real life things that they can acknowledge, this is the one that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And then they do others. So um The Rock was like, I'm always 20 or 30 steps ahead. I always plan ahead. And I'm like, dude, you wanted to murder the guy. Like, you just. And I laughed at the cheeky say hi to Mama Rhodes for me. I laughed at that. Like, that's old school
Mama
Rock there.
Rhodes.
Mama Rhodes. Yeah, I laughed at that. But like, it's. I want to know what you gave to him on the Raw after WrestleMania. Why, when did he break your heart, Rock? What happened with that? So I want to know. It's like, what? It's, what are those 20 steps ahead that you're talking about? What do they mean? What do you mean? What did you give Cody Rhodes? What did he put in his pocket? Was it the watch thing? Tell me. I just I don't care if they're gonna have a match or not. What did he give him? That's all I want to know. Like, what do you give? What? Don't you ever break my heart again? What do you mean again? Did what? Why? I just I. This is what I want an answer to. And this isn't a David Lynch thing when that you need to use your brain to find certain things out. No, this does not make sense. You are not a well-built character on my television, and I do not accept you. This is Ben Horn losing his mind in the second season all over again. This makes zero sense right now. I'm sorry to all of the people who have no idea what I'm talking about. Watch Twin Peaks, please.
We
Um,
have a super chat from Van Twinblade. He says petition to defend and straight Hulk Hogan.
Yes, that thing also happened. Please share your thoughts with the Rock thing and Cody Rhodes thing before we get to talking about Hulk Hogan. Did you have a problem with this, with the video package and everything
No,
that the
I
Rock
love the
said?
video package to kick off Raw. I like
Yeah,
Triple
it was
H
really
doing his.
heelish.
Yeah, I like Triple H doing his thing. The Rock coming out doing his thing. I thought I could have gone without the kissing the ass of the Netflix execs, but I get it. They do that. They did that with Fox when they went to Fox. They did that when they came back to USA Network. Those guys like to get their ass kissed, so whatever. That's fine. It reminds me of Christmas Vacation. Kiss his ass, kiss my ass, kiss his ass. Go f yourself. Like that scene. But it is what it is. But I enjoyed the opening stuff. The it just the matches were good. The matches were solid. Seth versus Punk was better than I thought it'd be, so that was good. Uh,
we're
I know.
not.
I'm just saying. Like, I'm just getting my points out of the way. Um, but yeah, I didn't have any problem with the opening and like the Rock thing. I understand. I know why some people are upset about it, but I also understand why they just did it because he's not going to be wrestling anytime soon. Likely things change with him. We know, but it's one of those things where he just needs to be the face for needs to be a face for a little bit, like within that company, and this is a way to do it. So there you go. I mean, that's the way I see it.
And then the Hulk Hogan stuff happened.
Yeah, that
Uh,
my
so
I want to
yes,
talk about that. Let
yeah,
me go first on this one.
sure, sure.
The fact that I mean, Sean talked about that like in his Fightful Select report that how some people were surprised by this. This baffles the hell out of me that this surprised people like in WWE. Like how does this surprise you? He's been getting booed for a while now, like
Yeah.
for the most part. I mean, like he's supposed to be in. He was advertised. I don't know if he still is, but he was advertised for the next Saturday night main event that's going to be taking place on the 25th of January in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Man, if I'm WWE and just for his benefit, I mean, I don't really give a damn what they do for Hulk Hogan. I really don't give a damn about Hulk Hogan, but for their own benefit, I wouldn't put him on TV. I I mean, they made it awkward, and I mean, it got so awkward that people that don't know what's going on about wrestling, they went and found out, which is they found out why people were booing. And I mean, there's some people that are saying, "Oh, it's a Trump thing." I'm like, it's not that. It's
No,
not. It's
Undertaker
other
was
thing.
cheered.
Yeah, like it's not that. It's because of the things that man has said. That's why. It's not a politics thing.
No,
it's
no,
a
it's not. It's not political.
yeah. It's
It's
the
not.
shitty things that man has said thing. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he got booed. WWE has part ownership in this beer supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody just didn't do their business their research. I mean, this is just not.
Well, I don't think that this is a job that only one person does. And like,
No, I know. I'm saying
if
like
they
whoever, like
don't, if they
whoever,
don't,
like I mean whoever is part of it. Like I just don't get it. Like research wise, he hasn't been popular. Like why go with his beer when you could go with Stone Cold's beer or something, you know? So and
again,
yeah,
I don't think that this is one person's job. I don't think this is one person's fault, because if they say yes to them, how come no one in that company said, "Hey, probably not." Uh, so it's like
yeah. And this is something too. Corey makes a good point. The thing is, Hogan has never put any real effort into making things right with everyone. Mark
absolutely,
Henry's Mark Henry said it the other day. Like it's just
absolutely, no, 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 like zero accountability for anything whatsoever. Like that is the problem. Like I will never be so high and mighty to say that people can change, because I do believe that people can change, because people change for the worse all the time. You cannot tell me that the opposite isn't possible too. So I believe that people can absolutely change for the better. But the way to do it is for you to talk with the people that you hurt in the past, and make comments for the things. The thing is that he absolutely knows what he's talking about. He knows whatever he's saying is wrong, but like he acknowledges it. It's not like he's in that mentality that he has no idea what he's saying. No, he does. He just doesn't that he's just racist. He's just a racist human being. Like that's it. It's just the
Yeah, I don't have any. It sucks because I used to love the man when I was a kid. Like I was a Hulk Hogan kid. And thing is, you find out about people and you just move on. Like they're not who you think they are. So like I
yes. So concerning this, yes, you were a fan of Hulk Hogan as as a child. Um, I For me that's not that's not the deal because I was never
no, I mean
a Hulk Hogan. I was never a Hulk Hogan fan.
yeah,
I was never a Ric Flair fan too. I'm sorry, like I could never. I'm not emotionally invested in either of them. But the thing is, no one is, because if your defense for Hulk Hogan is that you were watching him as a child and he's your favorite wrestler and everything, if this is your defense for the guy, no one is taking your Hulk Hogan memories away
yeah,
from you. No one is doing that. You
yeah,
can you can appreciate everything that Hulk Hogan has done for wrestling, and that is a fact because that guy has done a lot for wrestling. No one is telling you that you have to erase that person from wrestling memory
yeah,
from start to finish. No one is making you do that. The thing that people are making you realize is the things that he did at, like, everything that he does, it doesn't erase the past.
correct. Yeah,
That is it.
yep. And yeah, that's pretty much what Ophelia said here. You can still recognize their contributions, but not like the person or support them now. Most people realize that they can't be separate.
Yes,
So
absolutely. Peggy's absolutely right here.
yeah, so I mean that was the thing. It was a good. I thought it was a solid Raw. John Cena. I liked his segment. Um, I
He
I
was he was so over the hill. He
what?
was
Yeah,
the most John Cena that I've seen
yeah.
him in a long while. Uh
That's
let's
him though. That's what I liked about it. That was John Cena.
Absolutely. Because I know that this is the last John Cena that we're getting, and I will not be crapping on that man because once he's gone, and it will hit me that he's gone. So I will not be. I'm so certain that he's gonna win the Rumble. I really am. I think that he's gonna face Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania.
His dad said in an interview that he wants him to face Gunther.
Sure. I mean, he can face Gunther, but like, I'm not okay with the fact that he's probably going to beat Gunther, and I do not want that.
Yeah.
No. Let's also acknowledge the fact that Roman Reigns beat Solo Sikoa for the Ufalafa, and he's now
Which you
your
can order at
tribal
Waffle
chief.
House for $9.99.
Yes. Thank you to LA Knight who forever ruined this for me.
Lenite.
I couldn't say Ulafala with a straight face anymore. Just thank you, LA Knight. Jesus. Um, yeah. So the thing that closed the show was CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Did you get the chance to listen or watch to the Chris Van Vliet interview with Seth Rollins?
I have not yet, but I will.
Such an emotionally fascinating interview. I listened to it today while running errands.
Chris is so damn good at what he does.
Oh, Chris is amazing. The fact that he's really friends with all these people and they just, have a really easy time talking to the guy. He's so
Yeah,
outgoing, and
he's trustworthy, and that's
of course, he's a
he's
professional. I mean,
yeah.
amazing interview. Anyone that hasn't listened to or watched it, please go out of your way. Like, it's a 2-hour interview. I understand why it's a bit much, but uh, it flies by because, like, Seth is incredibly passionate, and then you can, I mean, you can feel the emotion in everything that he was talking about. I know Fightful got a lot of articles out of that interview. um we're not going to talk about so much of the about the interview, but so I get it that you like the match.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match.
Okay, I hated the match.
Ooh,
And
okay.
not because of the outcome. Always knew that CM Punk was going to win. But for me, the match was a lot of the person doing the other person's finisher, pedigree on the announce table, 1, 2, 3, CM Punk wins. It was I could see that they were holding back because from the way the match ended and the stare off that they had at the end, we all know that we are getting two more matches. This is going to be a trilogy, or at least one more match, at least one more. Um, so for Punk, he just got out of a previous trilogy with Drew McIntyre, so I don't know where this goes. The thing is that after the interview with Chris Van Vliet, I don't know how this is gonna be the only match that we have between them. He talked a lot about CM Punk, man. Like that's um a lot on his mind, a lot. And I just I know where CM Punk's pros and cons are. He's one of my all-time favorite wrestlers forever. And just have in mind that for me, wrestler doesn't necessarily mean an in-ring competitor. I mean a storyteller. I mean a promo act. I mean body language and everything. This is what also I consider to be a wrestler, not only in the ring. So for me, um, Seth Rollins will always be leaps and bounds ahead of CM Punk when it comes to in-ring uh, passion and in-ring storytelling. Because Punk, for me, um, he was always the mic guy. He was always the guy to make a match interesting because of the way that he leads the match. Um, and this, you can see that both of these people protected each other a lot in this match, and this I will always praise because you can obviously tell that there is absolutely 100% legitimate animosity between the two of them, but they're still incredibly professional enough to keep each other safe because they're both prone to injury. CM Punk a bit more than Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins is a bit younger, he can recuperate faster, uh, and so they kept each other safe. And at the end of the match, Punk asked the ref to check up on Seth. So hats off to Punk about that. Um, so I'm excited to see where this leads to. I do feel like we are going to get CM Punk versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. I do believe that this is where we're heading. Um, but the match itself, I don't know, man, because maybe it was too hype. Maybe for me, it didn't live up to the hype. Again, this is my own fault. But I could see that everyone on internet loved the match and praised the match, and I'm like, am I the only one that didn't like actually the match? But so you liked it, so it's
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I thought it was good. I mean, I knew what I was getting, I think. So,
yeah, yeah.
but
I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure that we're not gonna get in-ring masterpieces out of Punk. What we do get to have is amazing lead up to every important match that he has, and that's really important, and that's why I love the guy because
Yeah.
like we get that, and that's always incredibly important when it comes to wrestling. But as a whole, a lot of wonderful praises I can give to the debut episode of Raw on Netflix because the production was incredible. Everything, drone shots, like please do these more. Those are um the Puerto Rican drone shots, that we got
Yeah.
from the what was Backlash, right?
Backlash.
Yeah, it
Yep.
was Backlash. Let's make those a thing because they're really good. The atmosphere was the Titantrons and the lights. I understand that people didn't like the lights, but I think that it looked really fresh, really great. That entire arena was really good in my
Yeah.
the black mat on the ring is something that I'm going to have to get used to. Do you remember the black and gold NXT had the black mat
Yeah.
on the ring? I
Yep.
love that. I really love that. But I understand that this is the one thing that people didn't like about the black and gold NXT era, that everything was a bit dark, and I love that, man. I don't know, I love the dark atmosphere of NXT black and gold, but I'm a metalhead. I'm sorry, that's just
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, but I'm going to have to get used to the black mat, but not the black mat itself, but like the commercials on it. Um, I love the fact that Sean understands his job so well that the first thing that he asked the wrestlers was if those commercials things were slippery. And I adore Sean for asking that right out of the gate. But you can tell that Sean has been in the ring. Like that's because like I was watching at those, plates on the mat, and I was like, are they this made of the same material as the mat, or are they, do is it a different surface? Does it do something else for the wrestlers when walking on top of them? I had these sorts of questions. So thank you to Sean that asked them this. Um, I am so in love with the new ref gear. It looks so clean, man, so smart. And, it has the stripe on it. Like they're really nice shade of gray. And then they have the black stripe. I am so incredibly in love with that because like I understand that it's a classic thing, with the black and white stripes when it comes to referees. But like a lot of sports doesn't have that. Football doesn't have that anymore. Like they're a bright UV color probably that's murder on my eyes, but like you can get away from that and do something that is unique for your brand. And I love the referee gear. It is so good. I adore it. As a whole, Raw was good. I mean, it was. I kind of saw that they tried to make it a love letter to wrestling, and then they got Hulk Hogan out, and that's it. No, just do not do that. But how did you feel about the difference of the atmosphere of Raw in itself? Did you like it? Was it
I thought it overall was real solid. I enjoyed it. I thought overall it was a fun show. I thought real quick, I think NXT was good. I liked the way NXT unfolded. I like the new champs. I'm glad they pulled the trigger on Julia and Ova, and I liked
Obafemi?
and I liked how Raw ended with The Rock. I thought it was pretty good. So overall, I enjoyed NXT, and you know me, I don't say that often. So I liked NXT this week, and yeah, wrestling I think was very solid over the past week and a half. So well, since we last talked, I think it's been really solid. So yeah,
Wrestling is good. Wrestling is really, really good.
well, do you have anything else you want to say about NXT before we wrap up, or?
I love Obafemi finally being champion. I the Rocks, gibberish at the end of NXT was I didn't mind it. As a whole.
Oh, just
Mm,
something I do want to add to that is like his segment, his spot with Ethan Page was fantastic. And what
he
I loved about
slapped
that
his
is
ass. Oh my god.
afterward, Dylan Postal, aka Hornswoggle, who is
Sure.
very good friends with Ethan Page, said he was watching it and he said, knowing how much that meant to my friend makes me so happy. And that was something I know, like I've heard that he wanted to do so bad. He wanted to do something with The Rock at least once, and the fact that he
I
got
love
to
that
do
for
that,
him.
that
I
is
love that
that
for
is
him.
badass. So congrats to him because he is a very nice person. He does his character work so well, but
I love Ethan Page. We're
he's a
all
very genuine
egomaniacs here.
person. That yeah. So
Yes.
congratulations to him. I know just based off that tweet and just what I've seen, and he, I'm actually very happy for the guy that he got to do that. So and it's good for the talent, like to for The Rock to be around because that not only benefits him, that puts like maybe a little extra motivation on their part too. You know, when they get like the big names there. I mean, granted they got Shawn Michaels always teaching them things, but let's be honest, Shawn Michaels is not The Rock. You know,
No, no.
when it comes to the world phenomenon type thing. So that was uh that
Um,
was good.
One thing from NXT caught my attention, and I'm a bit pissed off about that. So during the match between Roxy and Julia, because Corey Graves was on commentary for this week's NXT. I don't know if it's going to be a permanent thing. I don't think that booth needs
Needs it.
three people.
Yeah. Yeah, I
But
don't think
Corey
so either.
Graves is an amazing commentator. I I will always like Corey Graves. He's improved immensely over the years. So he was watching Julia compete in the ring. And did you know? Do you remember what he said? Do you pay attention to NXT commentary? Because I tend not to because Booker T is there. And it really annoys me because Booker T goes out of his way to sound like that. And he's absolutely completely normal person who can talk like a normal person, but like for some reason he's in that ridiculous character that he has on commentary. um
Oh,
so
okay.
okay, Corey is a permanent move. Okay.
Oh
um
man, that's like a I'm like a demotion.
mm, so Corey Graves said that Julia reminds him of Nakamura, but a Wrestle Kingdom version of Nakamura. This is exactly what Corey Graves said on commentary. And I'm like, okay, so I'm glad that they're, continue to acknowledge the fact that there are other promotions out there. Good. Okay, kudos to that. But the thing that they're acknowledging here is that they do not have the best version of Nakamura. He just said on commentary that the best version of Nakamura is the New Japan version of Nakamura. And like that pissed me off a bit because, and at the moment that he said that on commentary, and I was like, oh my God, he's the United States champion. Because we got a vignette from Nakamura on that past
Yeah.
week's SmackDown. We
He's
didn't.
defending his title tonight against LA Knight.
Good. He should beat him. Nakamura should beat LA
Yeah,
Knight.
no, I agree.
Yeah. But like, thank you for having your champions on the show. That's all I'm gonna say. Uh, I hope that Roxanne Perez makes her debut on the Rumble, and I still have no idea who wins the Rumble, the women's Rumble, but I hope it's her, and I hope she wins the Rumble while being an NXT star, just so they have the ability to say NXT superstar Roxanne Perez won the Royal Rumble. I feel like this is something important that they should do. She also absolutely deserves it. So yeah, that's about enough about NXT.
Alrighty. Well, Maggie, plug your shit.
Guys, you can follow me on Twitter if you still do that at Maggie_IK, on Instagram at Maggie.IK, and on Blue Sky at Maggie-IK, which is the stupidest thing ever. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for showing up with your donations. All of them will be donated to the LA Animal Care Center Thank you for Rob for you know making that happen, and please plug your shit.
Guys, you can follow me at Rob Wilkins on X. I'm also on Instagram and Threads at FightfulRob. And then, like Maggie said, basically every Friday, join us right here for Fightful Overbooked. Coexisting with Rob and Maggie right here on Fightful Overbooked. I'm all flustered now for whatever reason, but we had a good time. Well, we always have a good time, and we want to say thank you for everybody for joining us, and want to say thank you for just tuning in. We really do appreciate you guys so much. It means a lot to us that you hang out with us for an hour and a half and just listen to us talk nonsense. We have fun doing it, and
Not
because of you, we
nonsense.
get to do stuff like that. So I want to say thank you very much for that, and we will see you guys next week for another edition of Coexisting. Peace, my friends.